Here's an update on our little fledglings. This is Haverty and Lacey. It's interesting how very different each pair is. Their babies are actually obviously getting comfortable walking around the bottom of the box, eating. They have a ceramic dish with water in it and they're learning to drink. And as you can see, they're not afraid to come out of the box anymore. Been here for a few days. This is the youngest baby over here, I think. Looking a little paranoid because I'm here. So Lacey has shown zero interest in those babies. She stays up on the perch where they can't reach her, and she's letting Haverty run the show. Look at the size difference in those chicks. Got a little, look at that, ridiculous cute. Just feed me, Daddy, feed me. He's having a conversation with Daddy up there. He says, I'm gonna get up there. Then you can feed me. This white chick is actually the youngest chick in here. The other two are respectively 1 day and a half a day older than him. So they're just smaller because, well, that one that was the second one that hatched was born early, so he biologically probably is 2 days younger than the white one. But the white one is, you know, Azul's baby, and showing the typical size of that line. And then we have Storm and Azul down here. And the interesting thing is, I don't know if you can see their babies in the box over there. They've just gotten in. They just woke up in the box this morning. I moved them last night. And the oldest one is already interested in peeking out, but hasn't come out yet. And Mama is actively feeding them right along with Dad. She's working her little you-know-what off. There she goes. See, those are my babies. I'll go down there and make sure everybody's okay. And over here, Kobe and Coco, I just put their chicks in, I'm talking 5 minutes ago, and Coco is very clearly interested in this. She's looking at them. Now, well, she looks like she might be attacking them a little bit. Telling them to stay in that box. You do see that every once in a while. A female, I've seen a male do this before. Because I put his chicks, it was Sprite actually, I put his chicks in the bottom, but they didn't have a box to hide in. And he chased one of them around like he was trying to get it to go and hide. So, so I checked to make sure they have food in their crops before I put them in. And then I put them out about an hour before sundown. So everybody has a chance to look at this and see what's going to happen. Coco, what's she doing? She's not hurting them. Last time around, Coco completely ignored her chicks, just as Lacey is doing this time. And Kobe was responsible for running the whole show. And I think she might have even laid an egg. So this time I pulled the chicks 2 days earlier, so she wouldn't have a chance. She's literally pushing them out of the way and trying to get in there with them. I don't know what she's doing, really. I don't think she's hurting them. She's like trying to get them to sit under her or something. So anyway, these guys are Usually you get a chick every 2 days, so when the oldest chick is 25 days old, the second chick will be 23 and the third will be 21. So there's one chick that's significantly younger. But these guys, only one of these chicks belongs to Kobe and Coco. The other two are fosters, one from Scruffy and Laurel and one from Razzle and Remington. And they are all born on the same day. So what's she doing? She's checking this whole thing out. I don't know. She seems to be trying to decide if this is an okay deal for her babies. But clearly she's still interested in them, so that 2 days has made a difference. She was spending a lot of time in the box, which is one of the reasons why I pulled 2 days early, because I do not want her to go back into I'm going to lay an egg and let the baby starve mode. So, anyway. So I'll stay here and keep an eye on them. And then I made up another box over here for tomorrow because I just lined Jester and Sky's cage. So there's there's Sky. She goes, what is this stuff? I'm going to pull it out. So I'll put the box in after dark, and their babies will get pulled tomorrow night. Sky has stopped sleeping in the nest box, so she's kind of done with all that. So I figured it's probably about time. Her babies will be 25 days old the next day after that. But she has 3 graduated, so I'm putting them up only 1 day early. So, yeah, Coco she's sitting there where her nest box used to be. They're having a discussion. You are a terrible beast. There. Go take care of your babies. Sheesh. We're discussing this. So the reason I put them in last thing at night is because it gives them a little time to freak out, and then they go to sleep. And for birds, sleep is like a coma. And when they wake up in the morning, however the world looks is how the world is supposed to look. So if I did this change first thing in the morning, first of all, the babies would not have been fed yet. And then the parents get distracted by the change, and the babies don't get fed for hours and hours on end. And if the parents are distraught, they will stay distraught most of the day. Whereas if you do it like now, they're a little crazy, this is not quite right, what's up with this, for about an hour. They figure out, okay, those are our babies, the nest box is gone, I don't really clear what happened, this is kind of distressing, and then they'll go to sleep. And when they wake up tomorrow morning, the babies are in that little box, and the world looks the way the world is supposed to look, and they're fine. So yeah, it's also... last thing before bedtime is a good time to introduce chicks if you're fostering, and to make just about any change, so that they don't have enough time to do any damage before they fall asleep and then wake up in the morning feeling better. She actually looks like she might have a little bit of an egg bump, so maybe that's why she's being a little freaky. But she might not, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. We'll find out in the next few days, because she'll lay that egg if it's already formed. So, Yeah, see the spread wings and the kind of panting thing? That's stress. That's, oh my goodness, something's different. What happened? I don't know. So, and I also check the baby's craw before I put them in to make sure they've got some dinner in them, because these two will likely be preoccupied until sleeping time, and the babies won't get much more to eat today. So they have something in their little guts, and they're doing good. She's definitely agitated. She's even giving Kobe a hard time. She's mad her nest box is gone. So everybody's doing good. I am still waiting for a first hatch from Bubba and Cinnamon. When I knew something was a little different with these two when I candled her eggs to cull them, and found that usually on the 13th or 14th day when I go to cull, there will be 3 eggs that are totally solid because they have a fully developed chick in them and are going to hatch in the next week or less. When I candled these guys, there were 3 eggs, all at the stage of development where there was a red glow that hadn't quite gone solid yet. So I think she delayed laying for a really long time, and all of her chicks are going to hatch at once. So I'm not surprised that we haven't got any, even though Sunday was her hatch date. So, okay. These guys' chicks are looking fabulous. Nobody has tape anymore. We've got the little gray one. I don't know if he's going to be gray or cobalt or violet, but he's got gray down. So that is Mist's baby. And then the other 2 are both Laurel and Scruffy's babies. And they're all looking good. Nobody has tape on anymore. We got past that. This is Saturn. And Katesh has hatched out all 3 of her little chicks. And they are fat little dinosaurs. This is Razzle and Remington. And they have 1 of their own chicks in here. And 2, the 2 fosters from Luscious. That is, this little guy over here is Sprite and Fluff, no, Jester and Sky Baby. And this littlest one over here, the double factor spangle that's white, is Azul and Storm's baby. And this little double factor spangle that's yellow is these two's baby. So we lost 2, I lost 2 chicks from them to the rickets. And both of the chicks of theirs that I fostered to other nests also got rickets, even though they had different parents feeding them. So these 2 are just really prone to that, and I'm thinking that probably next spring I will not breed them to each other, because maybe they're just not a good combination. But we'll see. And I think that's about it. Okay, well, we'll sign off with those fat little babies. So we'll sign off and take another look in a couple of days.